Good morning. Oh, this is another tip for people that want to know. See, in my bags, when I have my tarot decks on a bag, I usually put some crystals on it. If I have, I no, Parvati, no. This is the toast tarot. This is like the original toast tarot that we were talking about yesterday. The ones that I showed yesterday are based on the toast tarot system. The number of decks, the meanings, their structure, but the original toast deck is this one. This is, it has a lot of Kabbalah. This is the original toast tarot. So since we are starting Aquarius season, I wanted to show you, the toast tarot. It's very different. It has a lot of symbolisms. It has a lot of information. Some people don't like it, or some people just cannot read it. It's because it's very complex. It's not difficult to read it, but you do have to study it a lot. But it does has a keyword here, Ah, no, I think that it would be like, see, this is the prince. This is the prince of pentacles. Because I wanted to show you the system, because I want you to understand this better. Because yesterday I tried to put it into words, but it sounded very confusing. So what I want to say with this is that specifically in the Toast Tarot, the characters has changed. For example, in this deck, we do not have a king. We have a queen, but we do not have a king. Because we start, how we, in the Rider White, we have like the page, the knights, the queen, and the king. In this case, it's very different because we have like this. We have a princess, a prince, a knight, and a queen. So it changes the whole system. There's no king here. I think that probably the closest would be a prince. But that also it has like a larger meaning. You have to study the You have to study a lot. It's not just as easy as saying, oh, the system has changed and now there's no king, but there's a prince. No, it's a bit more complex to get to know these people. Um, but yeah, it's princess, prince. Um, yeah. I have a lot of here, a lot. I had, I wanted to show you, but my handwriting it's very messy. But when I started the TOS uh, uh, course, it was all of this I wrote in 3 hours, and of course that it wasn't just in 3 hours. It was a whole month, but it was one class of 3 hours each. So it was long and it was full of meaning and full of things that you had to write down. You know, a lot of information. I separate the ones, the suits with this color, you know, a lot of information, full of information, like a lot, a lot, a lot. So, yeah, and I still sometimes I do have days where I actually I don't use the toast tarot much, but I use the ones that are based on his system. Hopefully you will master what it means you can do both. This usually reminds me if when I use take notes in first. Yes, I don't like to take notes. Actually, I'm kind of lazy in that sense. Then I go around asking for notes. But when I'm in the class, I don't like to take notes. I like to listen and pay attention to what they're saying and observe. To I guess that's the way I learn. To absorb the information like that. But yeah, then I like because I'm someone that if I focus on doing something, probably I will focus too much. For example, if I focus on writing, my notes are actually amazing. When I was also in college, I think that the notes, the thing, the little details that I would write down were very useful back then when I had to study for an exam. But I missed a lot of things because I was so concentrated in writing that I would miss the whole dynamic of the class. So that's why I decide, sometimes it depends on the subject. I prefer to just listen to the teacher, instead of just being like obsessed with writing everything down. I've not really written meanings and such thing now. I don't remember. Maybe I should note it down since my memory has started to fail me. Yeah, but I remember when I wrote in this it was like during the pandemic, and I guess that if I read it, it must have been like 3 times in total. It's not like that's why also when I buy books, I am so like distracted in that sense. At first I'm very very interested and I want to read it, and then I just leave it behind. Like I don't know, maybe because one thing that I can say about the Toss Tarot, and there's a much prettier version of this. Actually, there's a version that comes with the book. This is a Los Carabeo, I believe. This is a very cheap version that I got. That it was just a box and the cards. I know a friend that studied with me. She has like the one that comes with the book, a book and a very pretty box with a book, and the cards, that I believe that the cards are a bit larger. Uh, but I swear, as simple as this tarot seemed, when I touched it, I felt electricity, I swear. And the figures, the images, the colors, everything was talking to me. Look at this look at this. I was missing the Empress. I want to get this Empress tattooed. Look at her. She's so beautiful. So beautiful. Yes, are very vivid, are also a bit weird. There's a lot of symbolism. The other ones that have, like, there's one that is my favorite, that I don't often use it here. That it has the tree of life also here in the back. It's the artistry is also beautiful. There's also one that I want to get, but as you know, here in my country I don't have it. That is the Mermaid Tarot. The Mermaid Tarot, and there's like another name in it. There's the author name probably in the title. I want to get that one, but it's not available in my country. And the shipping is too expensive. But I was watching the other day a tarot reader, and she had it, and the images are beautiful. I am like a sucker for the big eye people in the drawings. I don't know why, but I love that sort of like the drawing. I love big eye people. Like, I don't know, maybe that's because that's how I draw things or people when I draw them. But that it was very beautiful. So yeah, I was like, oh, I have to get the real Toast Tarot to show the girls, because we always talk, and this is something that, when I did the course, we went through all the suits, all the cards, and there's a huge difference, between, look at this, just, so you can practice a bit your perception. Look at this Eight of Cups. I don't know if I can show it very well. And look at this Eight of Cups. What do you think that it says to you? What does it, like, in here, see that you have a Pisces sign, and I believe this is Saturn. So you also have to take that into consideration. You have Saturn and you have Pisces. But what's does this image like make you feel? What do you observe that you are like, oh, look at that? Because this is not how it's portrayed in the Rider-Waite. In the Rider-Waite, the Eight of Cups, we see someone walking away from 8 cups. But in this case, there's no walking away. Look at the difference between the 8 of Cups and the 9 of Cups. It's not only the background that it's gray, it's only, you have to take into consideration the amount of water that is flowing from the cups. You see that in here it's flowing, it's full, it's pouring, it's full of of emotions. And here in the 8, what do you have? You have only few cups that are still contain water, and it's not like pouring, it's not like fluent, it's barely like, and there are some that are also empty. This is the state of the 8 of Cups. Yes, there are still some emotions left, but it's not that full as it used to be. We, for example, this is the Ace of Cups. See how we start, the amount of energy and water and emotions and everything is pouring, it's radiant, everything is abundant in here. There's a lot what you can take from in this Ace of Cups. But you come to the 8, and this is what you find. So you move on from an Ace to an 8. You see that the fluency of water is no longer the same. Also, the waters is not the same. Look at the colors. So this is different stages in the cards. This is why it represents like a change in someone's emotions. Like you are not 100% happy, 100%, just like when you started. Oh, yes, of course, because, at the end of the day, this is your deck. So what I say, yes, I can open like a window in your mind and you'll be like, oh, I didn't see that. But it's your deck. So you cannot be rigid about something that when you are on one-on-one with your client, there are a lot of things that are going to come up. And it's okay for you to let the deck like inspire you. I think that in that case, this is why I always say that I love like weird decks, because I love, the word is not weird, it's not weird. I love decks that have a lot of symbolism and hidden symbolism. If you tell me that, no, look, this deck is very hard to read because it has a lot of hidden meanings, I will go into it because my moon in Scorpio cannot help it. I love it. Like, please challenge me to see beyond. Please challenge me to use more my intuition. Please allow me to open my perception on an image. Please don't just tell me the guidebook about, this card is the 8 of Cups, so it means this and this and this. I don't learn like that. And I get very much inspired by colors. I do take like, I pay attention to the colors. I pay attention to the shapes. Also, I love that there's like zodiac signs in this, and not only zodiac signs, but also like planets and I love this. This is why the Dove Tarot is my favorite. Look at this 5 of Cups. That I was mentioning about the water being like very fluent and also being pouring of a lot of water. This 5 of Cups has no water. It's empty. And this is the card of deceitment. You have a keyword here that in this case is in Spanish, but it's the cards of deception or deceitment. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful, guys. I think that, and you know, because we are starting the Aquarius season and we're talking about weird things and original things, I want to show you probably this is what I was going when I was talking about weird decks. I wouldn't say they're weird. Actually, there are a lot of original decks, you know, that have very interesting figures and people and you know, and you're like, what is that? And there are some people that love it. For example, I'm a fan of horror. I love horror thrillers, but I try not to use so much tarot. I don't feel attracted to buy. Yes, I don't feel unique exactly. I don't feel attracted to buy dark tarot decks. I have one that is the black tarot that is beautiful. It's very classy. It's very, you know, it's very well made. And then this one probably is this is called the Night Sun Tarot. That also it's very it's very different in its images. But despite of me actually loving, you know, horror and a lot of, you know, I don't like to have those sort of decks, you know, because I buy decks for me because I like them, but I also buy decks for my clients, you know, and I think that we went through a lot of times of people actually fearing the tarot. So the least thing I want to do is to buy a creepy tarot and to scare people with its images, you know, because somehow people get really like, you're probably like telling them something and they are just focused on the card, you know, they're like, oh, what is this, you know. So I think that I don't want the images to distract the client. And also for me, like, I don't feel like an attraction to the spooky tarot, you know, or the oracles that are spooky, because I think that it's not necessary for a tarot to be spooky, you know. It's I pay more attention to the illustrations, and actually I love the pastel colors, you know. I love the feminine decks as well. But yes, the ones that has real people, I had those. I didn't like them. I don't know why I bought them. So yeah, I call my bias unique to say he's weird in an enduring way. Yes, exactly. That's the correct word. Yes, unique. Yes, not to say weird. Yes. My Libra self definitely likes aesthetic decks, but I appreciate weirdness too. Yeah, I know. That's why I have variety, because I know, depending on the person, probably they love. Oh, really? The Jane Austen decks? Oh, you know, the one that I want to get that I didn't get here is the Game of Thrones deck. That one I did want to get, and also because the images are beautiful. I just love that kind of illustration, you know, a bit like a cartoon, you know, but not like a cartoon because there's real people in there. But the illustration is beautiful. And I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, despite of how things ended. Hello, Rim. And yes, this is the Night Sun Tarot. So I want to show you, you know, I want to try to not show the cards that are too creepy or naked people. This is my weirdest deck, I guess. You know, it's weird in its images. And see, in here you also have astrological placement. See, the moon in Sagittarius, moon in Sagittarius. This, I believe, is the Nine of Wands. This is the Page of Swords. King of Pentacles. You see that it shows you the element in here? This is the symbol of the earth element. This is the Three of Pentacles. See, in here there's not the usual images of the three people working together. This is the Three of Pentacles, and in here in the top you can see the astrological symbols. That is Mars in Capricorn. Knight of Cups. This is the one that is the image of the cover of the box. This is the Chariot. Six of Pentacles. See how here you have the energy of a moon in Taurus? Because the Six of Pentacles is about patience. So who is more patient than a Taurus? So when the moon is in Taurus, it's like, yes, it's time to, it's time to plant your seeds. Your seeds are planted. Your seeds are, they are in the process. But they are still there. It's not, it's just beginning. You have to have patience. It's not time to, reap it. You have to wait. It's not ready yet. So when you think about the Six of Pentacles, think about the moon in Taurus. Yes, the process has started. The seed is there. But it's a long process. So, it's not a time for you to rush. My friend is a moon in Taurus too. I'm scared of her anger if she ever manages to get to the point. Yeah, but they are passive aggressive. Like, sometimes I get, it depends of what sun sign they are. There are some combinations of moon in Taurus people that I just cannot stand. My best friend is a moon in Taurus, but she's an Aries. She's an Aries sun. So somehow I do I do admire her loyalty and also how stubborn she is, but she is the kind of person that she gets things done. She's like, she does things. And for example, I have another friend that she's a Pisces with the moon in Taurus, and she is just so in denial of things. It's like she should you definitely see that she is a denier. Like, for her it's like, oh, let's buy something nice, or she's always talking about money, very, very, very cheap, and also cheap in the sense that she's always hiding things because she's afraid that you will take her stuff away. I don't know. She's very cheap. I just don't like that combination of Pisces and Taurus moon. No, no, I just don't like them. I just don't I no, but my friend, my best friend, I do admire her. Oh, say my friend as well, Aries with Taurus moon. Yes, yes. Actually, she's the Taurus moon that I love the most, and she has a daughter. That her daughter, it's her first daughter. She is a Taurus sun with the moon in Aries, so it's like backwards. It's like, and I just love it because, yes, obviously her Taurus moon. She had been married with the same person ever since they started dating at 17. She had her daughter also at a very young age. She became a mother at 18 also. But she's married to a Libra guy, so and he's great. He's great. He's great to her. He's a devoted person to his family, and I think that when I see her, because I had worked with her also, and not only family related, I had worked in the same company with her, and she loves action. She loves action, but at the same time, that moon in Taurus of her makes her very likable and she's very gentle with people. She's very, very loving, very respectful. She's very nice, very nice. But she's an Aries. This is something that I always like, tell people. Don't forget that she is an Aries. How such people exist hurts me personally to see others happy. Yeah, I think that I definitely have a huge admiration for them because they started dating when they were really young, and they both come from very broken homes, especially him. So seeing them growing up together, becoming parents without not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go, where to live, and they started making progress slowly. So in that sense, I don't know, I have a huge admiration because, not all those stories end well, and in this case it does. And definitely I have a lot of respect for him because she does have a temper. So when she gets mad, oh my god. So I definitely am like, thank you, guy, for staying next to my friend, because I know that other guy would have like quit already, but she is like, she is very stubborn. She's very stubborn. She's a very, very loving person. She is very loyal, but she is stubborn. Like, trying to talk to her out of things, it's a bit difficult. Um, she's the mother of my godson, so But yes, she is one of the few Taurus moon that I do like. Because then I met another acquaintance of mine that she was a Cancer with the moon in Taurus, and I don't know what is it with water and moon in Taurus. I just feel like they are so, like, I don't know, they are too much into superficial things, and there's a huge fear of losing material things, so they hide things, they hide information. If you think that we Scorpio people, we Scorpio moon people, we are like secrecy, Taurus people, when it comes to material things and actually them holding on really tight to their belongings, they are very secrecy as well, and they are very manipulative. I wanted her to make me feel good about my singledom, and on asking, she drops this bomb on me. Um, don't worry, Spirit. I'm the Capricorn of my group. So, you know, uh, I had been single for a while. Actually, I had been seeing people, but I think that as I get older, it gets more difficult. It gets more difficult. Like, I think that, to be honest, I think that the only period in my 20s, in my whole 20s, that I was in a serious relationship, I think that the only reason that this relationship worked for me was because my Venus in Pisces was exalted, like my Venus and Mars in Pisces. So somehow I was living to be of service to him, and I was like very committed to the relationship, to make the relationship work, you know. Um, so I was very emotionally invested, and I was like a great team member. I don't know. But then once I started thinking about myself and wanting to do things for myself and gain autonomy outside the bond, then that's when things started to get a bit complex for me, not only after the breakup, but also meeting new people as well, because I would see constantly a pattern of, it's as if my ex, I block my ex. I always block my exes. So I don't talk to them again because I don't want the past, to come back. I don't believe in those things. I think that what is done is done. Um, but somehow I kept meeting people that had a sort of similarity to them, and it was like, and even energetically, they were very similar, even physically. So I was like, oh, so I'm repeating a pattern here. I'm repeating a pattern. So that's why I learned a lot that this is happening. So yeah, I had to change a lot, but also I have to reconcile with the idea, because I have a hard aspect astrologically to my Venus. This is why my astrologer said to me that I have like I don't know if I have like an opposite of Uranus to my Venus. So somehow, like this fighting with between being independent and being in a relationship is like a bit complex for me, because it seems like when I'm in a relationship I lose myself, and when I'm single, like, yes, I am very independent, but I feel lonely. So it's a whole struggle to find in the middle, but it's a process, guy. It's a process. I just know that whatever Saturn touches, it's a slow process. It takes a long time. It takes a long time, yeah. Yes, yes. Because actually here in Argentina we have like a lot of like I don't know how you say it in English. How do you say when someone is like when there's too much manhood? How do you say that? Patriarchy. Exactly. So for me, is tough. You know, it's tough because um, like it's like everything starts very nice, but then eventually they start showing you the cards. So you are like, oh, I get what you're doing, and I don't agree with that. Um, and also because I guess for a Capricorn, a father figure is very important. And I have a father figure. I have my dad, that actually he's the only family I have left. And he's an Aries. He's very sensitive. He has a Venus in Pisces as well, so he's a very sensitive guy. Um, but my dad had always been rough, like a very masculine guy. But when it comes to love, he's such a sweet. He's a softie. He's a softie. I remember he would always struggle to put limits to me because he wouldn't know how to say no to me. And my mom would freak out, like, you have to tell her now, no. And he was like, no, I cannot do it. You better do it because I cannot do it. So it's like I have that image that you can be very masculine, you can be bossy, you can be very active, but you also can be like a very vulnerable person inside. So in that sense, I don't settle for less, because I'm like, if I have a very moody Aries father, very moody, very uh, you know, like, I don't want to say aggressive, but he's like always like wanting to fight people, you know, like wanting to have arguments with people. Like he's that chaotic and annoying, but deep inside he always loved my mom and me. He had always been devoted in his way, despite of him always having this very natural instinct of talking about himself, or being like, oh, because I did this, and but when it comes to his family, he had always been sweet in his own way. He had always shown devotion and love. So I'm like, if I managed to experience this in my childhood, I'm not going to settle for less. When I see that you want to play games or you expect me to behave a certain way and to, to accept disrespectfulness, I just cannot do that. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. If you are being mean to me or if you are being like rude, I don't find that attractive. I'm sorry, I don't find that you disrespecting me is attractive. Or if you're trying to be assertive or dominant, or so you by disrespecting me, I don't find that sexy. I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't My Aquarius in first house, just like today's topic, won't let me conform. Exactly. Today is my godson's birthday, my first godson, and he is a full Aquarius. But his moon is in Cancer, so he's a bit of a crybaby. He tends to cry a lot. But he's young. He's very young. He's only 7. So he has a long way to go. Yes, we are all spoiled princesses, I guess. Yes, I guess. I thank God for that. I thank God for that because, like, I just don't allow disrespectfulness. I don't allow it. I don't allow a guy to talk down on me, like to be condescending, to be patronizing. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. Cancer moon, oh my sweet child. Oh, you have to see his eyes. You know, he's blonde, but his eyes are very water influence, you know, and I noticed that a lot of Cancer moon do have big eyes and very beautiful eyes. I guess having bare minimum standards are too much for men. Same, I can't stand it. Yes, it just, you know, it just boils my blood. Like, and I cannot play dumb, girls. I cannot pretend that I'm okay, you know, because some people are like, oh, okay, but maybe you should laugh a bit more at their jokes. Like, I know, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to laugh because once, this is one thing that I noticed also in the workplace, that this is something that I always told my Libra female coworkers. If you laugh too much at the guy's joke, he thinks that you are like, he already has, you know, has you. So you don't have to laugh at the guy's joke. I mean, you can laugh, but you cannot hysterically laugh. Like, don't be too nice, because for them, it means something else. Maybe for you, it's you being nice. For them, it's other thing. I thought of Chang Hyun too. He has a Pisces Venus, I think. He becomes really soft for the members, but looks so fierce on the outside. Exactly, yes. Well, Spirit, actually, Chang Hyun, he is very similar to my dad's energy. Because my dad is an Aries sun with the moon in Aquarius. And his Venus is in Pisces. And Chang Hyun is an Aries sun with the moon with the moon. He's an Aquarius sun with the moon in Aries. So you know they are like opposites, but they are there. The energy is there. So yes, he does remind me a bit of my dad. Yes, although I don't know much about him, but just observing him, he does remind me of my dad. Apparently, he said he's happy nowadays. The air must be nice outside Starship. Yes, I have to do a reading for him now that we are on Aquarius season. All right, men and their giant self-inflating egos. He's free from Starship. It's just that I was thinking that for the... I'm not going to read for all of them, of course. But for the artist, the Aquarius artist in SM, I was thinking that maybe I should do a live to pull cards for them. Because there are so many. Like, I would, because I also have another ideas for other videos. So, you know, I have to find time. I don't know, so maybe for the SM artist, I will have to do like a live and to pull cards for each one of them on a live. The energy in SM building must be crazy now thinking about it. Yes. Gemini season also, yes, definitely. In Gemini season, definitely. But I think that it's in Aquarius season where everything gets a bit, you know, shaky. But yes, I will have to do that because how many members do we have? Like, I know in XCT we have a lot. So let's leave NCT out. But then we have TBSQ. TBSQ has 2 Aquariuses. Then in EXO, is there an Aquarius in EXO? I think there's no Aquariuses in EXO. Yeah. Yes. We have to pull cards also for him. Like, I know he's the next, but he inspired, there wouldn't be Taeyang if there wouldn't be Chechum. So, I'm sorry. Short circuit companies should get their own country bring blood. They're not bringing Tatum back, really. It's so sad. Oh, also Astro. Astro. Monster X. And let's not forget about the girls as well. We have a lot of girls. All the female idols. We have Jihyun of Twice, Rosé of Blackpink, the idol girls. Oh, there's a lot. A lot. I will not. It will not. I will. It's going to take me forever, guys. The Aquarius season. Me neither, Rim. SM acting mad, weird, never seen anything like that. Yeah. When is his contract expiring, Rim? Uh, some weird situation. It's some weird situation. Even the other day, I believe I was rewatching a live that I did, and in this I had pull cards for Lucas, and I was very confused during that reading because and this is something that I think that is very important to mention, that when the atmosphere is confusing and you're not supposed to know things, it doesn't matter how many cards you pull. You still do not get like a straight answer. There are situations, yes, where you probably want a straight answer and the tarot won't give it to you. Because maybe it's not the time, but sometimes you have episodes like this. Ex-employee was on a roll. They stay rejecting tense job offers from Thailand. He indirectly said that Lucas isn't kicked out and stuck in a limbo due to international fans' pressure only. Short Circuits needs Twitter fan accounts as per ex-employee. SM doesn't care. They kick him out if they want it. Otherwise, would have kicked him out a long time ago without care. Yeah, that's that's what's weird. Why the why is he in a dungeon? Like, we are in 2023. Like, why, like, is there something that the fans can do about this? Like, demanding some information, like demanding to see Lucas? is there a way that a fan can do something? Like a fandom can do something? Can, like, I don't know, collect signs? I don't know. I would sign. Like we really want to know why. You know, what is taking, like, why? Like, I think we just stop believing everything we see online. Anyone can say anything and K-pop fans believe it. I think trying not to lose favor with international fans by not giving yet, so the fans are already showing their impact. Yeah, but I think that they could have kissed him already, and he could start, like, you know, another path on his career since he has the fans already. Unless they want to, you know, forbidden him from debuting in other, you know, like having his own career. Maybe there's a bit of suspense in there, you know, like if he's not active, like, why do you have him on in there? You know, like, I don't understand. We sent emails since 2021. I sent DMs to Chris Lee and he saw them, but still. Oh. SM don't care about international fans. If they did amount of CA, they do. Guys, I don't know. There must be a strong conflict in there. A strong conflict. Because, like, even people with bullying scandals had come out earlier of their hiatus. Like, I don't. Oh, yes, thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, guys, like, I don't know. I feel so sad for the fans. You know, I wish I could give them an answer, but it's not certain. You know, it's not like 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 Rim said. You know, I think that there's a bit of, like, I think that what she says is true, that you know, there's too much opinions, too much, you know, too much, like, in attempts to find an answer. This is why I think that it would be the best for them to clarify things, but I don't know. Hi, Kavika. I was curious to know how many Aquarius are there in SM. I was surprised by the number when I googled. Yeah. Can you imagine all the birthday cakes? Oh, please, someone do a capture of this. I have to. I need to do a live to read for these people. Yes, Amara, you are. Gabi, can you put that list on a comment, please, in this video? So then I will try to. I will try to, like. I will try to organize my text, my thoughts, my life, so I can read for these people. I have to do the list. I have to do the work. Thank you, Gabby. Oh my. That day, I believe that the live is going to last like 4 hours. Oh, thank you, Samara. Thank you. So many. And I'm going to include Jehun. I suck at saying his name. Well, former TVSQ member. I'm going to include him, of course. I'm going to include him. Because he was part of TVSQ. He's no longer, of course, but he was. All the Aquarius, wow, it's amazing. Okay, let's pull a few cards, two cards, not few cards, two, to see if we will have some news about. Oh, also Suyan, yeah, Suyan of course generation. I have to write those down because I'm going to forget. So many people. Let's pull two cards to see if we are going to get any news about Lucas before his birthday or near his birthday or on his birthdays. Let's see. It could be a yes or a no. We have the moon card again. And the emperor. I believe something could be moving because we have the emperor here, so an action is going to happen, something is going to happen, like. But being the moon in here, see, this is why when I tell you that there's a big blockage here to see what's going on with him. Because the other day I got the moon card as well, and I don't know why. I had pulled the moon card for a lot of people in my experience as a tarot reader. And the moon card is not a card that you should be afraid of. It's not a card that you should it's not like, it has different interpretations. But for me, when I read for Lucas, and when I see the moon card, I feel a heavy weight on my chest. I don't know. I feel like somehow it's telling me to stop. Don't pull more cards. uh, and it's very annoying. It's very annoying, actually, because I really would want things to be a bit more clear, or to give like a more clear answer interpretation, but yeah, let's not force things. And also, like the emperor in there, it's like a whole power struggle. There's someone, like, there's obviously someone in power that is keeping him being a mystery. That, and his situation, it's like all the powers together, maintaining the situation like this. And I wonder why. Like, he's just an idol. Like, why? And he's a human. Like, how come? This is what I was saying. Like, we are in 2023, and it is, we jokingly we say, oh, he's in a dungeon, but like, that's not. What if he is? Like, why don't they let him, like, move on? Just send him home, or I don't know, let him like, heal himself or redo his life, or but just let him go. Oh, yes, exactly, Rin. Like, I don't. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's very. Yes, it feels. That's the. Why do I feel like we are so lost in time? Like you're thinking, like, oh, do we send him like a message in a bottle? It seems like we are in the 1900s or something. Like very, to not be able to communicate with him or to be able to get information. Like, we are in a very mediatic, there's a lot of information out there. How come we do not have like a proper discussion about this? And also the company, like, I just wonder why they make this decision. Like, because it's been a while. It honestly feels now like he was just a figment of our imagination, not a real person. Yeah, but that's why, like, how does this his career narrow down to this? To be one of the most popular members, to be this sort of ghost. This is something very, like, it's hard. And even the cards, like, it's like, don't ask. Like, stop it. You'll get your answer but now everything is still a mystery. Is it possible, Lucas? And I just choke. I'm sorry. And is it possible that he was seen in an airport? That there are pictures? Because I believe on TikTok I saw a picture that I think it was Lucas, but I don't know, like, if that was an edit, if it was from a long time ago and they are reusing it. It, um, do you know if there are recent pictures of Lucas? Yeah, but you know, it's like what happened. His last pic was with Kai from the Gurumi. No, last we saw was with Kai in Jeju. He could have completed his military service right now. I don't know, guys. So unfair. It's so unfair for the fans also. Please, we fought a war safe from military era with for. Really? He has to enlist? But isn't he a foreigner? Or does China has their own military service? Ah, Mintai wise. Okay, hope you. I'm like, but how come he has to do military service if he's a Korean? I don't trust any of the K-pop companies. None of the foreigner idols are treated well. Yeah, when I got, you know, that I did talk about, you know, about doing this very general tarot reading for Utah yesterday, and when I got the devil card, suddenly I felt very sad for him. I don't know why, because I don't know, it was just a sentiment, you know, of everything he must have endured, you know, that we see the results, you know, and we're like proud of him, everything, but probably he went through a lot of darkness, you know, and so yeah, it must be tough to be a foreigner. Speaking of military, I'm excited that my bias vacuum from Mexico is coming home in February. Yay! Yay, Gabby, finally! Finally. They are all completing their duty. Finally. And Taemin is on March, right? Oh, April. And NCT 127 is already in Chile. They must be already melting. They must be melting. I am melting here of the heat. It's really hot in here, guys. Really hot. Really hot. Um, it's like 30. I don't know the measures of the temperature over there, but it's 54, 34 Celsius. 34, I believe it is. Very hot. Yes, I'm with the fan on, but you know, I usually go to another room that has AC. Um, but now I'm not in there, so I have to suffer and stay with the fan on. Oh, 28. Well, 28 is nice. Yes. Oh yes, definitely, Gabby. Oh yes. -5. It is totally yes. It's very different. Very different experience. Oh no. So what are you watching currently, guys? Are you watching any K dramas or any movie? I am like following, because this show is a Japanese thriller, and it's on Star Plus, and it's I don't know if you have a Star Plus in your country, or maybe it's just Disney Plus. Um, and it's called Gannibal, and it's based on a manga, and it's yes, it has cannibals, yes, but it's really good. The suspense, the gore, only Japanese series can do that. Amazing, amazing. I'm just a bit like annoyed because I do have to wait 1 week to watch a new episode, because it premieres once a week. And yesterday I watched the 5th episode. That is the last one that it was premiered. And I believe there is 8 episodes in total, so it's going to be a long wait. But the plot is really good. It's very my style. Um, so I'm enjoying that. It's called Gannibal. It's like cannibal, but with a G. With a G at first. Not cannibal, Gannibal. Yes, it's intense. But also I think that it's like a psychological thriller. It plays a bit with your mind. Um, has someone here watched Strangers from Hell? Is the Korean series Strangers from Hell? It's also a thriller. Well, Gannibal is a bit creepier, but it has that same atmosphere. I think that what makes it creepy, is that it reminds me a lot of, Stephen King novels. I used to read a lot of Stephen King books. I am a huge fan of his. Um, and is this, when you are in a new environment with new people and you have no idea what people are capable of doing, I think that that's the creepiest. Like, I believe that that's probably like the biggest fear that we have in the human mind. It's not so much like ghosts and just paranormal activities. I think that, at least in my perception, what scares us the most, it's actually human nature, and what a person can do, you know. Um, so, this is why we have cults. We have cults. We have like this very extreme group of people doing a lot of damage. So, these sort of thrillers like also evoke that, that feeling of like, oh, you're new in town, or you're just arriving, like, and you start seeing a lot of things, and it's very creepy. I tried watching episode one episode of it. I almost peed my pants. Not for me, I suppose. Strangers from Hell, you mean, Gabby? Psychological thrillers are intense, but I like them. Stephen King's cool. I saw him speak years ago in San Francisco. After he healed from being hit by a car in an isolated road. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, yeah. Strangers from Hell is really good. I believe it was in Netflix. I love that. It was, but it's, this is why I think that is like a psychological thriller, because it plays with your mind. It's not so much like jump scares. You're like, oh, it's more like it plays with your mind, and if you start to put in yourself in the place of the main character, and you start to feel a bit uncomfortable, a bit like, oh my god, like, get out of there, like, and if the character is feeling anxious, you start feeling anxious like them. Psychological dramas are fun, but not too gore intense. Yeah. Yeah, this one, or this Japanese horror series, Gannibal, I definitely advise people to not eat when they are watching it, because I made the mistake, the first episode, like, I was having a snack, I believe, and because I was like, oh yeah, a new series. Like, I'm really invested in this. I saw the trailer, I did like it, and I was like, oh yeah, and I gathered all my snacks, and I was really excited eating, while watching, and then I realized that it's not that kind of show. So you're like, oh, I better put the food away, and not now. Yes, I'm not a big fan of scary movies in general, but my friends wanted to watch, so I agreed. As you say, I put myself in their places, so it was very scary experience. Yes, yes, Gabby, and as the episodes progress and he starts feeling a bit more like, like anxious, you definitely feel like you're going crazy with him. Like, it's a very uncomfortable serious to watch. It's a show that it's not for the light-hearted people because it makes you feel uncomfortable in your skin. And it's amazing how they manage to do that, to get you to a place where you actually feel like you are living the same as the main character. Because sometimes, yes, you have some main characters that maybe you feel sorry for them, or you feel pity for them, or you want them to do good, so you're like rooting for them. You're like, yes, go, keep going, you're going to be great, keep going. But in this case it felt so personal, and it was very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. I think that a lot of people that had watched it, it's not like, actually, like, I guess it's like that could have been me. I don't know why. Like, because definitely it's based on a webtoon, so it's fictional, but you are like, what if I go to a place like this and I just meet this, I encounter these crazy people, and what if I don't have the means to go back home, or to just go back to my regular life, and I just have to stay there, and I just have to endure the situation, so definitely. And also you see the transformation of the character from being this very, I wouldn't say he was naive, but he was so full of life and hopes and dreams, and he wanted to do so much. He was very excited, and then after a lot of situations start to happen to him, he becomes darker and darker and darker. So it's like, it's it's heavy. It's heavy. Yes. I agree with you, but it also made me connect to the character so much that you can't almost peel your eyes from the TV. Yes. Yes, it was amazing. Yes. I have no problem, but I had to stop watching them for some time because I was taking the energy in. Yes, exactly, exactly, Samara. Because that's the feeling. I also got this weird feeling, that actually I was like, yes, absorbing too much, like maybe empathizing, like being too empathic with the character, that it almost felt like you were going crazy with him. Like it was like. Shutter. It does. I believe I have. What is it about? Because I watched so many things. Pyro, because not Pyro. Sorry, Parvati. Because it does. I know the title. I just cannot like remember if it's the right. If it's the right movie. Because probably I'm thinking of the Spanish translation. but it does. It sounds familiar. Yes, probably I had watched it. Also, for the people that love horror and anime, there's available also on Netflix. It's an anime called Monster. That is a psychological thriller, even though it's an anime, it's not for children. And it has a very deep psychological thriller. It's scary, but it's psychological. It's not, ghost, and it's intense. I believe it's my favorite. Shadow is a story about the girl goes haunts her crush, his friends. Kind of something bad to the girl. Oh, yes, the photographer, right? I believe it's Taiwanese, that movie. No, it wasn't Korean or Japanese. It was Taiwanese. Yeah, the photographer, right? That it haunts him. Yeah, yes. It's really funny because the other day I rewatched it. And I also watched an episode of The Boys members, watching it in a show that they did where they spent 10 days, living together in a house, and they were so freaked out by that. And I remember you know, I believe I watched that movie in 24 24, like in 2000. I'm sorry, not 24. Sorry, I suck at numbers. 2004. 2004. And back then we had to watch like DVDs, put on. I don't know if some of you are very young, if you remember the era of DVDs. Well, I bought because here we had like not legal downloads, of that, so we got like a cheap version of the movie. Actually, there was this place where they used to sell like the latest, movies, and I would always go there, and just would always go straight to the horror ones. And I grabbed that one. And yes, I play it. I watch it. I believe I watched it with my mom, and we loved it. Back then, it was like, it like I think that it was the era of the Ring movie. But there wasn't much like Asian film, so at first we were a bit like, what's going on? Because the there wasn't much like Asian content coming to Latin America. But I don't know why I picked that one, and I swear that movie stuck with me because of the ending. But yeah, and then I rewatched it again a few, like 10 years later, and I kind of understood a bit because I believe I didn't get like the whole story, like. So yes, that's why I started to pay a bit more attention lately to Taiwanese series or Taiwanese movies, because they definitely have good content. Hi, Fluffy. Fluffy, remember The Boys? Like The Boys, watching the the Shatter movie, the horror movie, the Taiwanese horror movie. In the, I believe the show that they were on, it was like the 100 days. Remember that they were in this house and they had like a movie night, and they chose a movie, and they chose that horror movie. Remember, and of course, one of my biases, Q was the stronger one. He was laughing at the whole thing. Everyone was freaking out, and he was like, "Oh, it's not that scary. It's not that scary." He was laughing through the whole situation. It's just that it doesn't seem like, and I think that this also happened to me with when I watched it the first time in 2004. I remember I watched it on daytime, during the day, and I think that it wasn't that scary for us. Like, yes, the ending was scary. Like, I never seen an ending like that, actually. This was the first time that I saw an ending like that. So it stuck in my mind. But I had to watch it like 10 years later. I had to rewatch it because probably there were a lot of things that I was like jumping, I was like you, I was like, this is not scary, actually, but yeah, Q loves horror. Yeah. He's like me, he has like this sort of like, thermometer of what is what is horror. I think that I am that kind of person. I am that kind of person. I am that annoying friend that probably if you come here and you're like, oh, I just watch, I don't know, Annabelle, or, well, like, I don't know. Q loves Annabelle. He loves the Chucky version and everything, the Chucky series. But I don't know. I think that maybe he loves the characters. But I think that if I had a proper conversation with him about horror, I think we could both agree that Annabelle is not scary, that The Nun is not scary. The whole, like, uh, that whole franchise wasn't scary anymore. I believe the first movie was scary, but then the other was, oh no. The Conjuring. For me, one that was very scary when I first saw it, the first movie, was Insidious. Insidious was the first horror movie that I watched, and I was like completely like scared in some situations. Like, I believe that was the first horror movie in a while that actually, like, I felt a bit scared, you know. And of course, the first Paranormal Activity movie, the first one, that also had a sort of like a sort of Blair Witch effect, where you're like, what's going on in here, But then when they did the other series, then it started to get predictable, and you know how those things end. Ain't you the one with the long neck who likes Chucky, or is that someone else? I can never get over that neck, Jesus. Samara, don't say that. He's beautiful. Yes, he kind of looks like a giraffe. Yeah. I know. But he's so beautiful. Yeah, he's creepy. He's really creepy. He's a total Scorpio. He is a very Scorpio. There's the leader is also a Scorpio. The one that I say that is my husband. But Q is the typical creepy Scorpio. I would be best friends with him. I would be best friends with Q. He would be my best friend. Like, we would definitely watch very creepy things together. because I am that sort of person. Always posting neck. What is true? Yeah, yeah. Remember when he used to do like like the he used to impression in the giraffe, and he would like stick his neck a bit like. But you know that um, Q actually went on a Korean TV show that Mamamoo Solar is also hosting in it. That it was like this. He went with with Jujeon. The both of them went there to somehow tell ghost stories, and they would get a ranking. Like it was like a competition of who would tell the scariest story. I believe that it was released for Halloween last year. I watched that. It was great. It was great. Um, but definitely, Q is a great expert on horror, because what others find when others get scared, or when what others find scary, he actually finds it hilarious, and that's how you know when someone really enjoys horror, because it's not that you are like, oh, this is scary, this is not. But when you had watched so many of that same genre, you know, when you're somehow an expert because you watch and you enjoy that genre, um, somehow you become a bit like numb to very horrible and predictable plots and endings and jump scares, and the jump scares doesn't do it for you anymore. So you're like, oh, okay, yes, I'm starting to see that in this movie the main character, yes, he's going to this unknown place and something is not right. And in the thrillers as well, when you are like, oh, this is happening, and he somehow is lost and he doesn't know, and you start to somehow see where the plot is going, and you're like, oh, I get it. So the main character suffers from amnesia, or he has like multiple personalities, so this is why he doesn't remember a few things. Or maybe, you start to guess the plot, and when you start, I have done that, and actually I think that sometimes I feel like I'm a horrible companion in that sense, because if I somehow guess the plot, I'm not interested anymore. So sometimes my friends that probably are a bit more in the, what's popular or what's available on cinemas, they get really excited for very awful horror movies. And they're like, oh, we're going to watch this movie. And I'm like, it's just that scary. I seen that plot before, I seen it before, like, you know. Agree. Q is the more Scorpio person between him and Sagnon. Yeah. The boys are gearing up for their comeback in February. Yes. Can wait. I hope it's going to be more similar to the teasers they showed before Whisper. Yeah, yeah. Temin is the same. Laugh at what's supposed to be scary. I like their Steelers song a lot. For me, it can be really scary for me, it can be really scary when the horror is a bit psychological, when it messes up the character's mind too. Yes, the Steeler is also my favorite song of theirs. Fluffy, we were talking, because before you joined, we were talking about, have you watched Strangers from Hell? The one that is on Netflix? Because now that you mentioned, that about getting into the character's head. And everyone were freaking out here that I was mentioning it. And some said that they started watching, but they had to wait because yes, it was too intense. It's a very intense drama. It has only 10 episodes, so it's not that long. You have to watch it if you enjoy psychological thrillers. That one is very good. And also the one that I'm watching right now, that is a Japanese one, that is called Gannibal with a G. That also is very creepy. But yeah, you know me. I like those kinds of things. Um, but yeah, and we were talking about the movie Shutter, and that's when I was mentioning that I used to watch it on DVD, which was a long time ago. Like I know some of you are really young, so probably you have no. I'm sure you know what a DVD is, a DVD player is, but it's long time gone. It was just a phase. I couldn't believe it. I swear that for us, I remember I used to collect a lot of them, and then eventually I throw them away because they took so much space, like books in a shell. They took so much space. But I remember because I'm a huge fan of films, and I had a lot. And I remember that I chose the movie Shutter. I chose it, you know, from a pile of a lot of movies, and I always am like this actually. I choose the different ones, maybe you have like the ones that are very popular, but I always go to the pile that is very different, and it was different because actually, in 2004, there wasn't like a lot of Asian content that came over here, like or Asian movies. I think that the closest we had was the American version of The Ring, but then there was it. And then after a few years passed, we had the original Ring, like the Japanese one. And actually, the Japanese one was better, but you already seen it in like in the American version, so it's like you're already spoiled. You know what's going on. But I was so naive, like in the sense that, oh really? Like this is not the original version? Like I couldn't believe like there was another version, like because the original version of The Ring was so new, for us, that I couldn't believe that there was a prior version to that. I was that, that's called not being very, cultural open. Oh no, I don't like the Marvel series, Parvati. I cannot with those. No, nor the Marvel nor the DC comics. I like, and I swear that when I was younger, I was a huge X-Men fan. I loved the X-Men TV show, the original one, and I was really excited when the first movies came out. But then eventually, like, I don't know what is it about superheroes, like things that I just I'm not interested. Like I don't know why, I don't know. I never got like immersed in that universe, but I know a lot of people are obsessed. Well, I did watch a lot of like Spider-Man versions because my cousins and also my nieces and my nephews are huge fans, but I never got the appeal of that. I don't know why. Never, never. And I haven't even tried, I haven't even seated down to be like, okay, I'm going to start this. No, like, no, I don't know why I don't connect. Yes, most of it was online and it was harder to find. There were some Koreans horror movies that were more mainstream. Yeah, in my country at least in 2004 there wasn't none fluffy, and I was telling the girls that I called them DVD, but actually they were like a cheaper version. They were not legal. They were just like a fake copy, of the original DVD. So that's why when and I remember going to that place where they had like um, they had the probably the latest movies, and yes, they got it from the internet, uh, but I don't know. It was a whole adventure for me, to see, because it wasn't like very like popular, to actually, I didn't know that this was Taiwanese. I actually learned that with time. I was like, oh, these people are Chinese, or I don't know. Maybe I thought they were Japanese. I don't know. I just knew that they were Asian. Like, but I never watched. I think that was the first time that I got interested in, and I think that I did it because it was horror, and I love horror, and I loved the atmosphere of the movie. That very bluish kind of very like uh, very gloomy atmosphere, very rainy, very grayish kind of like uh, uh, cinematography. Very. The Ring also had that. That the Ring uh, had that. For me, watching it, it was very beautiful. That very. I don't know how it's called, but it's like that very like windy, very winter, very cold, very like bluish kind of vibe to the scenes that it wasn't seen before. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry if I'm not talking in the right terms because I don't know how to say it in English. The American version of The Ring, not as horrifying as the Japanese. Yes, I know, but I found out that later, like years later. But I was so shook. I was like, how come there's. I couldn't, my mind couldn't comprehend it because we would always consume things coming from America. So, it's like I couldn't understand it at first. Yes, I did have to stop in both versions. Yes, I remember in The Ring I had to stop in both versions because it was scary. Actually, I remember that I watched it during the day, but that day was also very like gloomy. Was very, I believe it was raining and it was dark in my house, so I had to stop watching as well. I put a pause, yes, because it was scary. Like back then, it was very scary. Same. I was an X-Men fan. I watch a lot. Cartoon Network. Yes, exactly, Parvati. Cartoon Network. I'm still surprised that Marvel movies are still a thing. I'm so over Marvel. Never really was into it either. They did. Oh yes, they did dirty X-Men movies. Yes, yes. The only one that I would say that I agree that was a great representation was obviously Logan, Hugh Jackman as Logan. But the others, like, my favorite like character from X-Men was obviously Jane. I loved her relationship with Cyclops. But I when I watched the movie, like the movie with real people, I was like, how come this woman is so tall? Is taller than like, I don't know why, but I couldn't like accept her as Jane. And she done a great job, but I couldn't accept it as Jane because Jane was a bit more like fragile mentally, like she was a bit like, and this woman that played her was too like, I don't know, like there it was hard for me to connect with her, like to associate her. Asian movies know how to create an atmosphere, exactly, yes. Even animes. I don't know if you watch animes, but first time I watched a Japanese anime, it made a strong impression. Yes, I did, Fluffy. I actually was telling people that if you are a fan of, of horror and thriller, um, wait, guys, I'm going to take my cat out because she has to go eat, but she's looking at. Oh, wait. I'm going to see if she's able to figure out that she can get out of the window herself. Yes, she figured it out. Well, I don't know why she does this, but sometimes I believe that her brain doesn't it it just stops, or maybe she's like waiting for me to open the window for her, but it's open already. Um, I was talking, Fluffy, that the anime Monster is available, and that's a huge, amazing. At least for me, I got really scared, and with with that anime that is called Monster. It's a psychological thriller. It's not for children. Um, that really made an impact on me. I have a question. Have you done oil pulling? What is oil pulling? Oil pulling. What is that? Saying The Ring ruined American movies for me. Hugh Jackman was the only character I liked. Plus Storm. I think Halle Berry was doing that role. Yes, Halle Berry as Storm. Yes, yes, I agree. I agree. Totally, Parvati. I forgot about her. She was a very important, a key important element. I like the Winter Soldier movie, mostly because of the Winter Soldier himself and the Thor movies. I should watch that. Is that the Winter Soldier? That's part of their universe as well. Falcon and Winter Soldier Disney Plus series is good too. Oh, it's oil pulling is like mouth washing. Ah, oil pulling. Winter Soldier is a Captain America movie. Oh, the second one. Winter Soldier is a character who comes back in Avengers movies as well. And there's a series now. I heard of it, I believe. I think I read it somewhere or seen it online. But I never done it. No, man. No, Samara, I never done it. Like, I cannot share an experience because I never done it. Mm, yeah. I think I once tried when I had like some problem with my teeth. I tried using like how do you call this? Maybe it's oil. Maybe it's oil pulling, and I don't know how to say it. It's with how do you call this? Coconut? Is it done with coconut, or is it another kind of oil? Because I had like tried with a piece of coconut in my gums because I have always had like issues with my gums. Very um, very sensitive coconut oil. Yeah, I have done it for a while. Yeah, yeah. It actually it calmed a bit the my gums, but I don't know. I had to go to the dentist then afterwards because it wasn't working. It did like release like a bit the pain, because especially when I'm near very close to my period, my gums start to get swollen. Like I my I have like a lot of issues with my teeth. Always, I had always. This is a very Capricorn thing also to have problems with your teeth and with your bones is a very Capricorn thing. But yeah, I tried it for a while. Yeah, it was a bit comforting. Yes, yes, but it wasn't long lasting. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I haven't tried it for that long, but I don't know. Some people say it doesn't work actually. But there was a period where you used coconut oil for everything. You know that there were all these tutorials about, coconut for everything. I did try my hair, and I did like done some like mask with coconut to give it a bit of shining um, when I had it long. And when I was in pandemic, that I couldn't go to the hairdresser that often. I have a lot of hair. Uh, yeah, I would do like a hair treatment with it. Are you guys following me on Twitter? I have my Twitter account. That I'm just looking around, to see what's up. Um, but yeah, I'm in there. I'm in the jungle. Not you doing Twitter. Yes, I am. I posted on Discord. I posted on Discord. I believe my username is K-pop and Tarot 1 with the number, with the digit. K-pop and Tarot 1. Yeah, it's called K-pop and Tarot 1. One digit. I do forget to say this yesterday, but do you see why I say Chan weird? Oh, oh yes, 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 Fluffy. I like, I will only post like, and you know, like the videos. Probably to get a bit more of views because like I sense that there are some fandoms that do not get my videos, and probably YouTube is not showing them because like NCT video had a very few views, and it's very like it's not normal because NCT has a large fandom, but somehow I think that it doesn't get to the NCT. And also the Stray Kids one also didn't make it. Like they used to have a lot of views, but yes, that's why I was like, and the Obis as well, the Obis as well. I want to reach out to the Obis because I have a lot of content about the boys. I have been reading for them for a while. I have their personality readings. I have the astrological readings, and they do not have much views. So I was like, okay, maybe if I promote them on Twitter, maybe it will get to more Jobbies. Stray children. Yeah, and I know that, I noticed that probably because, I stand them, so that's why I see that there's not much readers that read for actually for the boys. There are not much tarot readings for the boys members or the boys as a group. So I was like, oh, maybe there are some Diobis that will really enjoy the content, but I just cannot find Diobis. Like Diobis are hiding behind a rock or something like that. Yeah, but be careful on Twitter, you get crazy stance on here. Yeah, I know. Yes, I know. Yeah, yeah. It's in the hashtags, yes. Yes, we don't want negativity. No, we don't want. Oh yes, yes. The boys doesn't have much, but definitely there's a lot of like very enthusiastic fans of the boys. I actually wish like the fandom would be bigger because, like, not in the sense of get bigger and like and more toxic, but the boys are so cute, like I came to enjoy their content and love them all very much. And I'm like, a lot of people should stand them. But yeah, I get that everyone has their own taste, of course. Yes, it's unfair. It's unfair. Um, but NCT people are very chill, and like I had like done readings and actually their comments and everything. It's very, they have their own opinions, but they don't fight with each other in the comment sections. They at least I didn't get the crazy stance or the not the stance. I think that the shippers is the problem. When there's shippers in the fandom, like the drama is going to start. So they push you know yes. And what is going on? And cities are the most torn with the most fandom fighting at the. Really? Really, really? I didn't know that. And citizens are the most torn with the most fandom fighting after Blinks. Really? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't get that part. I didn't get to that part. Oh, really? As it is dream sense, 1 to 7 sense, and way sense do fight among themselves. Oh, oh, I should watch out for that then. Oh, I remember. I remember when I posted that video about Lucas and Win Win that they were fighting in the comment section. Yeah, I remember now. And also there was one that also like was very like upset with me because I believe I done a reading for 10 in Taeyong, and there was like this random fan that she was like accusing them of a lot of things, and she was like, oh, because this and this and this, and oh my, she would start with the accusations like, oh my god, like I don't know, she was very intense. And she was upset because I didn't get. She was like so against 10. She was like, she obviously wasn't a 10 stan, but she was so furious. Like she would continue commenting, so I had to block her. I like Wavy the most out of all NCT units. Oh, they have beautiful songs. I love Wavy songs. I mean, there's more Win Win fans are unhinged, literally the worst news episodes. Yeah, it's just that Rim. I do like Win Win. I honestly think that he's very professional, but I think that sometimes the fans do not like when because I when I read for Win Win, I get a very like professional driven person. He's almost like his mentality is a very cold. It's very like organized, is very like detached. He knows what he has to do. He's a very hardworking person, but I don't see him like being all like open emotionally, like Dobby, like Dobby loving to the other members. I think that he mostly thinks about his own benefits, and that's okay because this is a business. So, but sometimes when I say these attributes for Win-Win, or when I read these things for him, the fans get on the defensive, and actually I'm not saying that he is a bad person, I'm just saying that probably he's a bit more strategic than the others, and everything that he does has to do with him, like, doing what's best for his career and himself, and I think that that's a very, that's a very strong mentality. But I don't know, maybe they just expect me to see him like this very baby, kind of very loving, very sweet. I'm sure he's sweet, but when it comes to business, he's very serious about it. And citizens were fighting with blinks, especially when Rose and Jaehyun shipper supporters. Oh, plus when they released their album on the same day. Wow! Crazy fans are everywhere. As soon as the group becomes big, you're always gonna have extreme fans. 10, 10 can break my. Let me stop. What? 10 can break my. Samara, are you? I mean, with that comment, am I supposed to like assume that you love 10? That you like 10? Do you like 10? That's what I feel. Very cold and calculated to an almost weird level. That man can't even see. I don't get it, Samara. If he's professional, he wouldn't ghost his group members for 2 years. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know Win Win had a reputation for being a bit problematic. Win Win still got less line. Like, I was attracted to that man, and he plays his group like puppets. We all loved them. What about Hyun Hyun? I love this guy. Oh, yes, Totally, totally. We do love Jahun here. We all love Jahun here. We love him. He's beautiful. Beautiful. He's in that voice, like my God. Then is so beautiful. I remember at the beginning when Love Talk begins, the MV, and he starts talk, he starts singing. He is a mermaid for me. He's like very siren-like kind of guy. Like I just love him so much. He is the true representation of Pisces beauty. Like he's so mesmerizing. Like yeah, Xiao is a sweetie. He's so cute. Yes. Yes. He's beautiful. Xiahun can sing well. Xiahun is so beautiful and really like he can do everything. He's such a great performer. He blew me away on Make a Wish. Yes. Yes, Xiahun. Yes, he's not talked about. You know, they don't like actually like talk that much about him, but I definitely do admire him. He's beautiful. Ten Voice is the voice of an and his moves. I mean, his moves. He's an artist. Like his body is like what is it with Leo and Taurus placements being pure archive candy? Yeah, yeah, definitely, yes. You know, like I always find like Taurus, Taurus men boring, but you cannot help but to think that you know that they are so beautiful. Like you cannot stop watching. I love every time that Jahun was telling his pet dog Bella no when she was going to pee on the carpet. He's an amazing dancer. Then yes, like Taeyong, Xiao, Jamin, Lucas. Yes, Jaehyun, Henry. Yes, Taurus are beautiful. Yes, yes. But Jiao is a different kind of Leo because he definitely steals your attention, but since he has this very water Cancer moon, he is so like so warm, so romantic. I don't know how a seducer, but a romantic one. Have you watched that wavy dress as Disney princess? Yes, I did. They are handsome and striking at the same time. Wavy content. Yes, I did watch the princesses. Yes, it was hilarious. But just me. And it's incredible how they fit so good the princesses outfit. They were princesses. They were princesses. It was amazing. Yes. Jang Hoon's voice is like a caress, so romantic. I feel like he'd be a great actor because he's so expressive. Lucas as Elsa and Henry as Rapunzel were iconic. Yes. Oh, Windrella and Ten Lies. It was hilarious. I remember that one. I did watch that one. It was hilarious. Hilarious. Yes. Henry was hilarious. Yang, sorry. Oh my. Oh my god. They do some crazy content, definitely. Xiaomi. And Jen too in the mermaid costume could barely move. Yes. I miss those times of Wavy being crazy, being carefree and crazy. Yes. Definitely, it was a great era. A great era. I believe they had the potential. They still do. It's just that I don't know, something happened in the organization. Like I tell you, it seems like one group rises and the other one falls. Like they should all remain the same. They should be given the same possibilities. It's not like, especially with all that, the potential. I'm sure it costs money and and inversions but you have a lot of potential with those groups, with those people that you gather. I actually like, I really want another NCTU like, song. Like I'm sorry, I'm thinking about Mark and Purhechan. Like I'm sure they would be like me, like put in there. So so every time that I think about an NCT universe like comeback, or I think about poor Mark and Hechan. But it's so nice to see the different units like work together. And I'm desperately wanting Yuta and Shotaro to be in the same unit. Like, come on, Sam, come on. I want the Japanese members together. The Wavy Kitchen. Was it hilarious like shiny over flowers back then in the dairy? Oh, Shiny is hilarious as well. Shiny, all content, all of them together, they were hilarious. Like, really. Now it feels like they carry the heaviest burden on their backs. Yes. Yeah, like everything has become so serious all of a sudden, so, yes, so heavy. Like heavy. Definitely. I can see it when I pull cards for them, for some of the groups or some of the members. Like the consistency and the work is there, but there's a lot of worry. There's a lot of like stagnation. Like, okay, I know I'm doing good, so I better like take this chance, like don't go to the extremes, and like there's a lot of restrictions. A lot of restrictions. There's a lot of like, you know, a lot of people coming behind their backs and whispering to them, like something like this, a lot of restrictions. So yes, they are doing good, some, but at the same time they're being limited. There's a lot of restrictions. And also, the fourth gen groups, because everyone complains that they are not as fun and they do not have fun like the third generation. But I think that they are being criticized for everything. Every little move is under a microscope. So I get it why they feel so so tight, so tied up, unable to move, unable to be themselves, because definitely the fans, some fans are taking this whole fandom experience to the extremes, and they feel so entitled to say, to comment, to leave comments online, to hate and to write hateful comments online. There's this sort of love and hate coming from the fans. The fans also have a lot of frustration when the idol doesn't follow the guidelines of what they think an idol should do. You know, there's a lot of backlash, a lot of criticism. So sometimes the fandoms are, the artist's biggest enemy, because there's a lot of frustration coming from certain people. Definitely, I think that they are obsessed with them, but there's also this need to have like, they feel there are some fans that definitely have like some, like, superiority complex. They are like, they think that they are the saviors of that that group's uh, career or image or trajectory. So they feel entitled, and that is something that somehow is not easy to stop. And I don't know how they are going to stop, because with threatening them with, oh, we're going to file a lawsuit, and they are not afraid of that. They are not afraid. So, you know it's going to be scary, it's going to get more creepy. It's SM stands complain about every single little thing, yes, and label as mistreatment is annoying when they should work to hype up their idols. Like, I would rather you all get mad over cultural appropriation rather than who they're dating or if Big Bang didn't pave the way for BTS. Yes, not the Big Bang paving the way for BTS debate. Fourth gen groups are scrutinized, sure. It was scary how the toxic fans are acting with their own criticism, ownerships, oh yes, fantasies, and sasangs chasing down NCT to their homes. Like, they were really cussing out Suga. Yeah! Agree, Rim. I'm tired of this mistreatment argument. It can be true, but most of the time it's completely exaggerated and makes no sense from a business perspective. Yes, let's not forget this is a business. Did you hear about GSSN, a K-pop girl group? No. I personally feel that SM mistreated artists as a whole. SM got mean girls energy. Mean girls energy. It's just that SM has a culture that is not going to change, and it's this culture that is very Aquarius, but Aquarius on the darker side. In a sense that we are a community. So the ones that are outside of this community are not welcome. So it's there. It seems from an energetic, perspective. I'm not saying I know these people. Um, there's this, like, global family. They have a lot of, like, artists united, so they want to keep like this. They want to keep bringing this unity. So, it's like the people that left, they are strangers to us. Like, we don't talk about these people, like a sort of family loyalty. And this is their brand, this is their vision. So yes, it's like, GWS Young won the first trial to terminate the contract. The NGC did not even help foreign idols in the group with their visa work. Oh, that's not Aquarius energy. It's not that the Lulut. It's giving more so Leo. Yeah, it's just that, yes, Samara, there's a possibility when the Aquarius energy is not well balanced. There's a possibility of them actually going to the opposite, that is Leo, that they could polarize their energy towards the not so favorable traits of the opposite sign, or acting like the opposite, of the opposite energy. So yes, you're right about this. It's more about Leo. It's more about, yes, we are the kings and queens of the business. So yes, we decide who is in and who is out. You know, yes, it's very sacred like this. It's very like you belong with us. High competition and expectation is a mistreatment. If you make it like you repeat all the rewards and Blackberry is another example of mistreatment. Hello. Aquarius and Leo are opposite signs, so they kind of like shadow each other. I miss all of the reading. Um, this entertainment did dirty to Bob. Hello, Katie. Hello, Katie. Oh my God, TS2, how can I forget? I wasn't there, but I still don't get the Lucas thing. Why is he still ostracized? He didn't attack anyone. Of course, now he knows that. Hello, Kitty. Yeah, I did pull cards for Lucas, but like, um, yeah, but he got the moon card, so I'm not allowed to see beyond, honestly, with the Lucas situation. So yes. There were allegations that he forces the girlfriend to do things when he had her period or something of this problem. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Like, I just, we were like discussing the same thing. We were discussing the same things about, why, like, what's going on with that guy. Um, yeah. Especially current Leo energy, they always want to be different or believe they are when you're just like everyone else. Thank you, Katie, for your donation. Do you have a question, Katie? I just saw it. And the thing is, they don't know there may have been other allegations. Yes, please send me the question. Because I'm going to go real soon, guys. It's been 2 hours that we have been talking here. But yes, tomorrow I'm going to continue with the groups, reading for the groups, and also, um, we don't know it's just that, you know, remember we were talking about the other day, that probably dating an idol is easier than we think if you live there. I mean, if you live in that area, like, you know. Ah, okay. You will send me an email? Great. Great. Please send me an email with your request, and I will do the reading for you. Yes, I can, Samara. In honor of Aquarius season. A lot of idols do date around with an NDA. Yeah, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. We were talking about the NDAs the other day. We were talking about the NDAs the other day. It's just, guys, that relationships or hookups or, connections in general are so, how can I say this? Are so complex, especially when you're in your 20s, everything is complex. So a lot of things can happen in a bond, and it gets messy. It even gets messy with two regular people. Imagine if one of them is famous. It gets messy. It's always your version against their version of the bond, of what is going on. So, yes, Rim, exactly. Exactly. Um, I'm sorry. I mean, like, I don't want to like be, uh, but imagine that, and also adding that you are in a connection with the Aquarius, especially Aquarius men. Aquarius men are so confusing. Like, I I had fallen for their angel faces when I was younger. I think that my first crush was an Aquarius guy, and he was so beautiful. But I never was able to get understand him, and his mentality and his view of life. He always seemed very far away from me, like in the sense that, me probably being an earth sign and having these water placements, I crave a connection. And with an earth sign, with an air sign, like an Aquarius, there was a disconnection in there. And I just, despite of being very attracted to their image, there's something about them that they just seem so unattainable, so far away. And me being this very possessive kind of nature, that actually I want to possess the other person, I want to grab that person to me and bring it closer. I think that Aquariuses have always been a mystery for me, and no much, no much, and no much. Yes, and no much. Like I would get tired just thinking about, and I do meet a lot of people that actually I had friends that they were always chasing the guy, always chasing the same guy. Like, even if years passed and they were already moved on with other people, they would always ask. Aquariuses are the typicals, the ones that got away, and I think that I had a lot of friends that were like in these on and off situations with the Aquarius or Geminis, and I was like, even back then I knew very basic things about astrology, and I was like, I always had this impression that, if it was something that was unfinished, that was messy, that was dramatic, that was so confusing, it sure had like an Aquarius in the middle. I was sure. Just look at Piqué and Shakira's situation, because he was good. Shakira and Piqué is such a petty situation. Yes, and she is a Cancer moon. She is a Cancer moon, so she's going to get really, really. She's going to get really petty. She's not going to let it forget. I'm sorry, but it sounded like a Wattpad story. Aquarius can be great in relationship, but more so if they have some Earth in their chart, in my opinion. Yeah, I never dated one. I only remember being very like love at first sight. I think that every time I see someone beautiful, like they have air elements in them. Like really, like Aquarius. There's something about Aquarius, because I also I have cousins that were Aquariuses, cousins and family members, and they are always so beautiful, and they have huge like fandoms following, a group of girls or boys following them around, especially the um and for me they always were like this very like weird creatures, like I in my perception I always admired their beauty, but I never was interested in getting like involved with them, because I was like, oh, this is beautiful to watch, but like they didn't seem real to me, like I don't know why, but I think that they are these people that somehow they're always like, there's always a crowd of a group of people following them, and chasing them and admiring them, and them not even wanting their attention, so I was like, when I used to watch, I don't know, the popular guy in my school, he was also an Aquarius, and he was beautiful and everything, but it's like when you have all these people like chasing you, and it gets a bit like, you know a bit like weird and uncomfortable, and you don't know how to respond to that, because it doesn't matter if you try to be nice, which they are nice to the people, but somehow the people always expect more of an Aquarius, and they feel so like claustrophobic. That's why they run away, because they are like, I never promised you that I will give more than what I'm giving, because this is, you chase me first, like. Hi, Kuromi. I actually had like a friend that he was very popular when we were in high school together. But I never like, he was the typical Aquarius with a lot of friends, and I mean, I never had like a high school crush, or a high school sweetheart, or being in a relationship when I was in high school. But then we met again when we were in our 20s, and I was starting a relationship with the other person, but we started to talk. We started talking, first we started talking on the phone, then we started chatting, when the internet just arrived in the 2000s. Um, and we had very deep and very great conversations. We would talk for hours, and he would always tell me like the story of this girl that he met, that because he was a musician, so he was in a band. I believe it was like a rock band, and he was very popular. He was so much. I remember he was a fan of the Patch Mode, so he was very like this, very uh, he would dress with long coats, and he would be very dark, very mysterious, and he was like the typical beautiful, like rock star, He had that vibe, He always reminded me a bit of, he was too polarizing to Leo. And we would talk for hours, and he would always tell me about, oh yes, I am with this girl, but then I met this girl, and then I met the other girl, and I'm interested in this, and then eventually, as this, he would like, oh no, I'm no longer with that person. I met someone else, or I got bored, or he would never and we would talk about that, because I don't know. I would be like in the same relationship, and he would just change of person, every time. So I was like, I would confront him about it, in the sense that I would make him realize, like, I was like, but why, like, how come your relationships don't last? Like, what are you looking for? Like, really, like, and he was like, oh no, because I am with this person, because she asked me out first, and she was nice, and we started talking, and she was really attractive, and 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 I think that he was a bit like like he was in relationships because the other person was like requesting a relationship or a commitment out of him, and he wasn't never the one that would be like actually like choosing to be with someone. It wasn't like coming from him. It was always like imposed from others. And he had always been popular, so he never had to really make an effort or an attempt to conquer someone, because everything was very easy with him, since he had the looks, he had the popularity, he had the charisma, because he was very charismatic, very good with words. We would always talk on the phone, and I was like, he would always get flirtatious with me over the phone. He was like, oh, what if you and I would start dating? We would be a great couple. You should leave your boyfriend for me. And I was like, no, I'm not interested in you. I'm actually like very well, like you're not my type. You have too much issues. And, we would make fun of each other. But I knew where this was going. And after a few years, then he disappeared, and I also was in a relationship, and my ex was an extremely jealous person. So, I actually moved from my house. I was living somewhere else. But then one day I was at my house, and my mom answered the phone, because we still had, like the phone in the house, the wire phones. uh, and she grabbed the phone, and it was him, after I believe 10 years, like from that we stopped talking, and he was like asking to talk to me, and I was there visiting. And I grabbed the phone and I was like, oh, and it was him, after all these years, it was him. And he was like, oh, it's been a while, very casual, and I was, yeah, I kind of remember you. Like, he was like, yeah, I was thinking, how is your life? Are you married? Do you have children? And I was like, no, I'm in relationship. I'm engaged, but I don't have children yet. Like, like, and he was like, oh, because, I wanted to know after all this time if you remember me, because I always remember you. And, you know how this goes, everything. You know how this goes. He started to pour his heart out in this conversation about how he'd always been in love with me, but that he always thought that we would be a great match for each other, but because he was like he always enjoyed our conversations, and that I really saw him for who he really was, you know and I was like, oh my god, I know where this is going. I know, I could feel it. I was like, this is the most Aquarius experience ever. This is the most Aquarius experience ever. Like, I never thought that I would be living this with an Aquarius. Like, because I never was interested, actually. Like I knew he was particular, because, like, in a sense that I knew that even though he was probably very, very popular, and very out there, having a lot of opportunities, a lot of girlfriends, a lot of, parties, a lot of activities, and he was also a lead singer or in a band, so he knew how to be in the spotlight. But somehow he was a very, like, lonely guy inside. I mean, from the conversations we had, he was even a very depressive person. He had his issues, his issues and his own demons, So I was like, oh no. And I was like, I cannot have this conversation right now, because I really, like, appreciate you, but all of this, having this conversation over in the phone. And actually, I was very nervous, because my fiance back then, he was like walking in the room. He was like going from the living room where I was to the kitchen. So he was like listening, and I was like I was like trying to give an answer that wouldn't give away what I was talking about, and I was hoping that my fiance wouldn't, like, realize that I was talking to a man, because he was like this, very, very jealous, and of course, like, this is not a friend that he knew, or someone that, oh, is this person calling me, this is not this is like a sort of like someone that he doesn't know, someone from my past. So, oh no, it was a very uncomfortable situation, that now that we are talking about the Aquarius season, I remember about that, and I remember that I had that experience, with an Aquarius. But I just, like, I remember I felt very bad for him, because um like, all the conversations that we had, and all the friendship, like, I never saw him like an opportunity, and I knew that he was opening his heart to me, and he was able to talk about very deep things that maybe with others he wasn't able to do. But when you just, I mean, I don't know, I always am like this, I was built like this. When at the beginning I start a connection with someone, if we are friends, we are friends, and we will always be friends. This is the rule for me. I don't believe in the transition of from friends to lovers. Like I don't do that. Because like for me there has to be like a connection, like there has to be a hint that there's something, and what I was giving him is just like friendship connection, like not to get something romantic out of this, but and since he had always joked about wanted me to be his girlfriend, he was like, oh, when I was younger he would always joke around like, oh, okay, what if I dump all my girlfriends and we start dating. So he would always, but I would take it because he would always be very flirtatious. So I was like, oh, this is him making a joke, or this is him being funny again, or this is him, since he had always been like very lucky with the ladies, and I'm a female, he couldn't help himself but to make this joke about me also being a possibility for him, since he has all these other options, And I was like, no, because, I'm not interested, because I'm with someone, because I'm your friend, so yes. The air energy is real, yes. um, Earthquakes. What were your fiance's placements, if I may ask? He was a Virgo sun with the moon in Cancer and an Aries rising. Aries rising. So he was a very jealous type. Yeah, that moon in Cancer, he was very jealous, very, and he had the also he had um, that intuitive vibe, that he knew without paying much attention. He knew that there was like, that conversation, because he was like, "You're taking too long the phone. Like, what's, you know?" And also because he knew how I was. I'm actually very like straightforward with people, and I don't like stay a long time talking to someone unless I have a sort of connection with that person. Not the Virgo. Yeah, 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 I swear. I had like, yes. Yeah. Virgo guys are something else, guys. Like, really, I don't recommend it. Like, we were very compatible in the sense that I really had a lot of admiration for him. He's a very intelligent guy. Like, you know, we were a good couple. That's why, I was engaged to him. We were a really good couple. Like, actually, I did like his energy. I like him as a person, but no, he has that Venus and Mars in Libra, that I was so like done with that energy because he was such a people's pleaser. Even though with that Aries rising, he would make it seem like he was very brave and that he would always tell people like it is, but actually he was a coward. So, you know, and and he would always play mind, very very manipulative. So I don't recommend it at all. I don't recommend it at all. Actually, I think that probably, at the last year that we were dating, that I was like, you know, this is why, this is the the Venus in Libra and Mars in Libra combo that I think that if I see a Libra energy again in my future spouse, or not future spouse, but future possible partner, I'm like, no, no, yes, I'm like, no, please don't, please don't, because the manipulation is real. The manipulation is real. But you know what? So that after so many years, I came to the realization, is that they show themselves as this true romantic, especially for the others to see. But when you are in the relationship with them, you know that there's a lot of lies in the middle, and there's a lot of fakeness in the middle. And you know why I tell you this? Because when I decided to break up, you know, because I wanted a time out. I wanted a time out, and because things, I wasn't like feeling anything. I was cold like an iceberg. He would be like, "Oh, I will come to visit you," and I was like, "No, please stay at your place. I don't want to see you." I was like, "Oh, I'm busy at work. I'm tired," but I was so apathic. Like I just, like he would just like hold me, and I would feel I was like cold, like an iceberg. Like I wouldn't feel anything. And I had always been a passionate person. So I was like, oh, if I'm feeling this cold, it's because this is over. You know. And he would always try to be cheesy, romantic, and whatever, but I just couldn't stand him. Because there were a lot of things in our relationship that you know I think that probably I wasn't forgetting him for the lies that he told and stuff. So when I decided to break up finally with him, okay, he was like so broken. He was like so narcissistic that he was like, okay, remember that you are the one that is deciding to break up. So remember that. So don't come back to me. You are the one because you are ruining our lives because we were meant for each other. We had something amazing, and you are breaking this because you're so selfish and blah blah blah. Well, okay, my fault. It was my fault. But then um, after 2 months, 3 months of us breaking up, he started dating someone new, a Gemini. I think that Virgos and Geminis actually are a match made in heaven. Probably is a good match for him. Actually, I was excited. Like when he told me that he was seeing someone new, I was like, "Oh my God, yes! Tell me how she is. Like, do you want me to talk good about? Do you want me to talk to her that let her know that you're great? Like, because I will." And he was so upset that he couldn't get on my nerves because or get me jealous because he was with someone else already. And I was so happy inside because he eh, he really wanted me back. Like he was like, "Oh, we should." Um, uh, yes, he was really over me. Very, he was hurting, so he had to hook up with someone else. He had to get a new girlfriend. And this is something that Libra, Venus, Libra. Like I told you, they need someone. They need someone. Um, so he was like talking to me, like, oh, she's great. She's a great. I'm starting to know her. She's great, but she's not you. With you, it was different. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, no, like you really should keep working. This relationship is just starting, so you never know. It can turn out to be great. I'm sure she likes you. She sounds like a great person. You should keep working on this relationship. And he was so pissed because he really wanted to get me jealous. He wanted to get me back. Actually, I don't think he wanted to get me back. He just wanted to see if this new relationship would spark something on me and he would have like two people fighting over him. And I was like, no, no, I'm your past. I'm your past. Like I seen it all. In all these years, I know everything about you. Like I don't want that back. like, like please, just like. And I was so, yeah. He wanted to feel like the main character, and I was like, I'm sorry, guys, that I keep disconnecting. I'm going to see if I can put the data on so I don't disconnect again because I come and go. Um, but yeah, very narcissistic, very this is being narcissistic, and actually this is also manipulation. This is also manipulation in a relationship. um, but yeah, he was horrible. Not horrible, like really I feel like not horrible. I think that we we are who we are, and I think that what I learned and what I said to him when we break up, what I decided to break up, is that we give what we can give in the moment, and what he was giving in the relationship wasn't what I wanted. I wanted more, and he couldn't give me. So no, he doesn't understand English. So we are safe. This is the reason why I done this in English, because he is a stalker. Until this day, he stalks me. This is why I sometimes, like, all my social media, I have it, um, with so I can review who or accept. Yes, he's a stalker. Yes, he's a stalker. He had called me because I changed my number. He had called me several times. He had called my house several times. He definitely, he once came to my workplace where I used to work. And since he was a really tall guy, I was able to see that he was around. So I, escaped the room. But yeah, guys, no. No, 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 no. Virgo no longer for me. And I keep attracting them, but I'm. I think he's married. I think he's married. He's in a committed relationship, and I believe he has children with someone else. He already had a daughter when we were together, from a previous marriage, because he was older than me. But I believe another family now. But he is still like stalks me. Mm. Like, I know it. I know he has sent me messages. I know it. I know that yes, he's not over me. Blah 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 blah. But you should have done better when you had the chance. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't date losers. I don't date losers. Yeah, it's the Cancer moon. Yes. Yes, definitely always looking at the past, and like very, yes. Yes, in his Mars in the seven, also like Libra and Mars, and I swear that was, and I believe Mercury also was in Libra, and I would hate it. I swear that I remember he was into astrology when we started talking. And when he said that he was a Virgo, I was like, because I used to date a lot of Taurus guys. So when he said he was a Virgo, he sounded very like smart, and very like communicative. I was like, oh, this guy sounds interesting, He sounds cool, We would talk. We really had a lot of chemistry. We got along really well for years. Um, but then when we were like reviewing his birth chart, and I was seeing all these Libra placements, and I was like, oh my God, you are the least Virgo ever. And I swear that this would also translate to his work performance, because he would quit job after job after job. He wasn't stable at all in his finances. He also had like a gambling problem, addiction. So that Libra influence in him, definitely he was the most unstable Virgo I ever met. Like, I swear. This is why, guys, you should never be like, oh, this is this sun. No, you should check the whole birth chart. you should like, check the whole birth chart, because probably this day, like, I will check out the better, but I always get Cancer moons, Virgo Venus. I also get Virgo Mars people, a lot of Aries male, uh, Taurus, and a lot of Cancer rising as well. Very sensitive guys. But yeah, yeah, I guess, like, my Venus and my Mars are in the first house, the house of Gemini. So I always been a sucker I always fell in love with the most intelligent and eloquent guys. So, the talkers, they would always get me, the talkers. But then eventually I learned that they are liars. So that I had to watch out, not so much paying attention to what they say or how intelligent they may seem, also to check out how they are inside. I feel like Libra Mars people love to hold grudges, especially with the relationships. Yes, yes. Like I told him, like I knew that I would be the bad guy. I knew it. I knew it. I'm sure he told all his exes, like he told me about his other ex when he met me, that they were horrible, that they broke his heart, that I was the bad one. That I always like would be the bad guy. Yeah, and also I would hate that people pleaser kind of thing, because he would do this sort of, that in narcissistic relationship is called the triangulation. That is that he would talk up bad about, he would talk he would talk bad about his family to me, but then he would talk to his family bad about me. So he would create this situation where he was in the middle, like creating chaos, you know creating drama. Oh, Fluffy, but you're a female. It's different. It's different, Fluffy. It's different. This man, he, like, and I'm not saying that he was a bad person, because I was engaged to him, and we really were like a great match. uh, we really were a great match. That's why we lasted so long. But it's just that they were the lies that he would tell to himself. And he was a people's pleaser, and he wasn't stable. And I needed stability. I'm a Leo with a Taurus Mars. I really wonder how it manifests, because I feel like my Taurus Mars is my most uninfluential one in my life. It's just that Mars in Taurus, it's very chill. It's very like hello, like probably makes you connect more with your body language. It's more like, oh, it's nap time. It's very nice. Mars in Pisces, and I don't feel like that strong influence of that Mars in there, because it's in planets that doesn't have that. Both my BFFs have Libra Marses. They never really let themselves be angry. Oh yes. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. True, I'm chill. I'm not really screaming or a fighter. Yes, no, never get angry neither. It's fun. Yes, because since you are a bit more on a slow motion, you tend to see other people freak out, and you're like, wow. You're like, wow, this is so funny. Because actually you, with your calmness, you are like really willing to see, what the whole process, when it starts, what triggers them, when it starts, when it gets really bad, and when it slows down, and when it starts again, like the whole roller coaster, of people like really getting like exploding, and you're like, wow. Like an observer, yes. One thing that annoys me the most is the Taurus energy observing the chaos, because I am a very chaotic person. Like I am very like emotional, So when I get upset, I get very obsessive, and I probably talk about it all the time, and I never stop, and I get very like agitated and angry and frustrated, and I talk about it over and over and over. And when I see, someone with Taurus energy, and they just look at me like this, like, oh, like they're sorry for me, like, why you're making such a fuss out of this. Aries Mars. Me being angry has consequences for me. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah. You probably also hit yourself, not hit yourself, Samara, but you probably like have accidents with your body when you're angry. You know, like I don't know, you accidentally hit yourself with a wall or with something, especially in the head. They have this. I also like a little bit of revenge when it's due though. Also a little bit, but I a little petty, but I think that's me being a Libra moon. Yes, the Libra moon is being petty. Yes, I love observing chaos, but my Virgo rising and Venus will make sure. Yes, you insert the opinion. Obviously, you insert the opinion and then you leave. You live quietly. Oh, guys, it was great talking to you guys, but I have to start cooking. I have to start cooking, guys. I have to start cooking. Like, it's my dad is going to kill me. I was like, oh, I'm going to be over soon. Like, oh my God. We always start talking about the most interesting things at the end. Okay, Samara. For you, you got the 4 of cups. You know, the cup of the be apathic, the apathic card. But in this deck, this card it means the card of luxury. It means that actually you probably are in a situation where you are supposed to feel joy or feel comfortable, or feel a bit of comfort in the situation that you are in, but somehow emotionally you feel like you cannot enjoy it. So this card is like reminding you that yes, there's luxury in your life. There's abundance. There's a lot of things available that actually, you have a certain luxury in your life. It's just that it seems like um, you are not like appreciating it. You are not getting in contact with. But it's important for you to see that you are very abundant and that there's a lot of things, positive things happening around you. It's just that probably you are a bit detached emotionally. So yes, you should work on that because you have a lot of good things around you. It seems like you are missing opportunities or you are not seen. That's not me being ungrateful. No, I think that it's not being ungrateful, but I think that probably you don't see it like luxury. Somehow you take it for granted because it's always been there. So there's this sort of like comfort in a situation that is known, and somehow you forget that you are a bit more privileged than you think about your situation. So it's like about like wake up and see, like take a look around you and see that there's a lot of like luxury around you. There's a lot of possibilities for you to connect. It's just that, yeah. Yes, the toast tarot. Yes. Yes, you need to connect a bit more emotionally, a bit more emotionally, but also know that there's a lot of stability around you. There's a lot of long lasting things. Yes, yes. It's just that the changes are going to come, Samara. The changes are going to come because we are, in this new moon today. I'm going to try to pull some cards today. I'm probably going to do a short about it to see what we can work on for this new moon. Um, but yes, it's going to be great for us. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. I wish I wouldn't miss half of your live every time. I usually get home when it's already started. Oh, but you can watch the replay. Yes, yeah. It's just that I should arrange different times. I should arrange different times. Probably, do a bit like another time that you can join, like, Fluffy. Maybe you can tell me then. Are you on Discord with us? Maybe you can tell me then which time zone is better for you, and we can arrange that day, so I can come maybe a little bit later. So if it is a weekend, I'm sure the people are free to join, so we can change a bit. And also maybe I can take the time to cook before I come, so I don't have to get going. So yeah, but we are a few. We can take that luxury. We have the possibility because we are a few actually in the chat. It's always the same people. We are always the same, except for Spirit. That Spirit, yes, her time zone usually When we are just waking up for her, maybe it's, I don't know, the evening. So, but yes, we can make it work, guys. And I mean, not always, but trying to shift a bit, the. Yeah, it's like a little family. Yes, it's for all of us to enjoy. I mean, like we had been like talking for a while, so we trust each other. Yeah, sure, we should do that. We should do that. We were talking also with Samara about, one night to do like some kind of voice chat, so I can hear you all talking and we can all talk at the same time, not just me. so so we can all talk, we have our little community and we can all talk and listen to each other, and we can laugh a bit. So we could do that one Saturday. So but yes, if you join, then we can all like talk. And so it will be great. So thank you guys. I will get going. Have a nice Sunday.